Mess with that. Weld is really great because if you have, for instance, let's create that, we're leaving that there. You've got these extra verts. Let's well, look at this. You've got these extra verts here, right? It's right now 14 triangles. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's going to take those and it's going to join them. So it just took those and it welds it together to the nearest closest. I think this actually describes what this does in here. Finds groups of vertices closer than the distance and merges them together. Yeah, wireframe I already showed. The curve, I don't really have time to walk through. Maybe I can do a second video for these. The curve is going to take things and you can adjust, you can manipulate things based on the curve, which is a different kind of object in here. You can create several curves and you can use this to then manipulate stuff, which is better. This is not a polygonal object. It is more inclined to the CAD stuff because it's mathematically driven. So if I create geometry from this, it's not direct geometry. It's still a curve, but it can be converted to geometry. But right now, this doesn't transfer to game engines as it is. Game engines, however, have splines you might want to use if you were looking for something like this. But this is something you can use to manipulate another game object if it uses the curve modifier. So clip, hook is next, deform specific points using another object. I think this just locks an object to something. When you want to plug something in, you use a hook. You want to plug the end of a cable into an object and link it to that. I believe you use the hook modifier. This lattice is really cool. So let's say I've got a lot of vertices here, and it looks like there's some old vertices before. I got myself a thing there. I'm going to add a lattice object. Then going to create some resolution with this lattice because I want to manipulate this object. It's a 3D object. So now I create a lattice modifier and then use my lattice object. Now I can manipulate this object based on a lattice, and I can adjust the dimensions of this too if I need less detail. But this thing is deformed based on my lattice. Look, I got a volleyball there. I I actually, when I made my shoe project, which was I had posted in my gallery, I used a lattice instead of rigging it, which should have been what was done, but it still turned out great. Next thing I want to go through is mesh to form. I'm not sure what that is. I've never used that. Shrink wrap. Shrink wrap is great. If I take here a plane and I add a subdivision modifier for, don't mind the special menu I went into there, paid plugin, I'm going to add a shrink wrap modifier to this on top of my subdivision modifier. I'm going to target it to this one, and it's going to shrink wrap that object to it. I want to offset it slightly so it's above it. And there's a lot of plugins that utilize this shrink wrap thing, but there's different options to take. It's going to conform it to the object that you've picked it to. Okay. Anyway, that's the shrink wrap modifier. Smooth tool makes things smooth. Smooths things out. That's super handy. That's very handy. Smooth corrective. I'm just going to read some of these because I don't know. Smooth the mesh while still preserving the volume. Vertex. A lot of these again. Specific scenarios where they're necessary. Alright, well. Interesting. That's Laplacian smooth, whatever that said. Surface to form. Never use this one. I never use a lot of these. Warp. Warp from. Oh. Not actually sure. interesting. Let's read what it says. Warps parts of a mesh to a new location in a very flexible way thanks to two specified objects in the wave. Honestly, it takes these videos where I can learn what these things are. Finally sit down and learn about them. This one is another thing. Wow. I feel like pull these together can really give you a cool effect. Sometimes you want to flip these back and forth. I guess that one is not allowed to be underneath. Usually you can flip these around with this little grabber here, and the position of the stacking makes a big difference. So we have a wave, the subsurf. Alright, last normal, weighted normal. Let's go over that. This is something that I've found truly handy. It's going to take some surfaces that did not want to behave. I could not get the shading right until I added a weighted normal, and then it works. There's also a normal edit, and you can target specific objects to use to affect normals. Oh, look at that. That could be pretty cool for a video animation, but that change in normals in real time.